Hi, this is Nick Forster. This week in eTown, we're going to revisit one of our favorite shows, and it starts right now.
From eTown Hall in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, it's eTown. Our musical guests this week include from Stratford, Ontario, Canada, Ron Sexsmith, and from Boston, Massachusetts, the Ballroom Thieves. I'm Helen Forster. Join me now in welcoming our host, Nick Forster.
Thank you, Helen. Welcome, everybody. You know, it's been kind of a blustery day, as Winnie the Pooh used to say, which means it has been incredibly windy here in Boulder, more weird weather for us. In fact, for most of us, we've been experiencing some weird weather. But we are safe and sound here at eTown Hall, and we're ready to have some fun. Our guests this week have a few things in common. We've got some singer-songwriters who are candid and poetic and melodic and creative. And they have done all the things they had to do to express themselves in an honest way. I know that Ron Sexsmith is here. He's written so many songs, made a lot of records over the last 35 years or so. Great songs. The Ballroom Thieves are here. New England-based duo who also are not afraid to set some pretty dark themes to some pretty cheerful-sounding music. And when I say not afraid, I mean that because there is fear in expressing yourself candidly. There's even more fear if you try your hardest and then people still don't like it, then you're really screwed. So our guests this week have overcome their fears in order to do what they do. In fact, one of our guests this week overcame her fear of sharks that she was exposed to when she saw the movie Jaws when she was a kid, and dedicated her life then to learning how to overcome that fear and understand sharks better and understand marine ecosystems, and that's been her job, which she'll talk to us about a little later on. Anyway, Martin Earley and Calin Peters are a duo in every sense of the word. They are musical partners, life partners, creative partners, and they're here to play some songs from their fourth record, which is called Clouds, as well as others. But here they are as a duo. Please welcome to eTown for their first visit, the Ballroom Thieves.
It's a real pleasure to be here at eTown. Thanks to Nick and Helen for having us and for everyone here for welcoming us with open arms. It's been a joy.
You said I'd be alright, but you don't really know now, do you? And you said you'd be all mine, but you don't really know now, do you? You don't really know, do you? I was young and throwing my weight around. When the rain came, we never made a sound. We just let it all pour down. All I needed was a shoulder for the weeping suns and moons to spin me through the year. What I got was less a reason for the speaking, a Himalaya of dishonesty, a Niagara of deceit. I still wilt in the glare of your failure feeling light. Do I care? Do I care? Do I care? I might. I'm still lost in the tide of a bygone dream. Only you know what I mean. Am I nothing but the camphor in your garden? A camisole of carbon and belief. You leave me heaving in the street where this all started, and I'll part the endless highway. I'll walk the long white line. I've a heavy tread and I take my time. All I gave is yours, all you leave is mine. I am teeming with dread for the answers I'll never find, and you don't seem to mind. You don't seem to mind. And you don't really know now, do you? Now, do you?
Thank you.
We're excited to have Nick and the eTones, Jonas, if that's all right with you all. Well, I left home in the evening, and I came home in the morning all the same. I mean, I saw two hands that move, but that's the only proof that anything was changing. I heard that love is only an illusion for the masochists and martyrs. So I went diving for a song, but it all took too long. Now I'm treading water. All alone on the borderline, running fast not to fall behind. I have a body, but I can't call it mine. I still do from time to time. Now all the moments look like photographs I took, but didn't feel the need to save. No one cares to call my number, no one dares to pull me under anyway. Some say that life is only what you manifest, and I'm not to fall behind. I have a body, but I can't call it mine. I still do from time to time. I'm all alone on the borderline, running fast not to fall behind. I have a body, but I can't call it mine. I still do from time to time.
Nice. Well, listen, welcome, Ballroom Thieves. Martin and Callie, thanks for being with us. And let me just do a little background. So, Martin, you grew up in Switzerland and then moved to Maine when you were a kid, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And Callie, you're a Boston girl, Berklee College of Music, all that.
That's right.
Yeah. And you joined a band, you got in a band together. How long after that did you guys fall in love?
It was right away for me.
It was right away.
Yeah. But then I waited 2 years to do something about it.
Yeah.
I had to convince him.
We were one of those bands that made a rule:
No relationships in the band.
no dating in the band. And
Yeah.
as it turns out, it's usually the people who make that rule that end up being in a relationship.
And the band did well. Ballroom Thieves, you did the whole thing. You played Newport and other festivals, you toured, you made records, you did all the stuff.
Yeah.
All the stuff.
And then, as I understand it, there was a pre-pandemic car accident in Wyoming, and then the whole world shut down.
Yeah, we had a tough couple weeks there, followed by a tough couple years.
That was a big challenge. Was it big enough to where either of you thought, oh, okay, I guess the universe is telling us we got to go get day jobs or anything like that?
Yeah. It was a very dark period.
One of the things that we really learned through the pandemic and through being stuck at home for so long is that we really want to do this, and we love this so much, and we can't not do it. And I think, in a way, it took getting off the road to fully realize that and to just cement that thought in our minds.
Right. No, I think if there is an upside to a global pandemic, it was certainly that most of us got to kind of get off the hamster wheel for a minute and just reprioritize and see what's going on.
That's totally right. You don't really get to stop touring, being a musician. There's always something like 8 months away. So you're always going. So it was nice.
And you have a new EP coming out before too long in May. And this sort of duo format is different because you had the power and the glory of the full rhythm section experience and big crowds and selling out rooms in Boston and doing that big band sound. And now it's the two of you touring. Is that an adjustment? Is it sweeter and a little more exposed? And
It's exactly what you're saying. Yeah, it's more exposed for sure. It's very fun for us to get to talk to the audience a lot more. We tell a lot more stories.
that's cool. And the EP, does that reflect your new duo-ness?
Fully duo.
Okay,
EP.
cool. And I also want to just mention that, at least on your website, you talk about the more challenging aspects of going through the blues in its various flavors and shapes and addressing that candidly, which I know your audience must relate to as well,
We talk a lot about depression.
which itself is a tough word to even say.
Yeah,
There's a stigma around it.
I think it could help if more people could talk about depression and maybe just hear that we are depressed and that's okay. And
Yeah.
everybody has generational trauma, everybody. So everybody's struggling, even if you don't have depression.
You're all struggling.
You're
out
all
there.
struggling.
If you're listening to this right now,
Isn't that
you're
nice?
struggling.
Sorry.
Well, and so for the rest of the songs you've chosen for this evening, are there some chipper ones in there somewhere?
Oh, no.
No, okay. Well, listen, we're going to find out. So Let's get back to music. Welcome back, if you would, the Ballroom Thieves.
Is it clear to see that now in the driving rain, with the river running wild? We don't want it, put a name back on it now, with the sun gone down and the river running wild. Come see me in the morning, and I'll hold my head up high. What I need to understand is how hope fits in my hand, and I'll hold it tight all through the night. Don't buy it, there's no need to try it out, and I won't pretend that we're dancing in the dark. So just be honest, like a child again somehow, 'cause you can't go back with the river running wild. So come see me in the morning, in my hand, and I'll hold it tight all through the night. What I need to understand is how hope fits in my hand, and I'll hold it tight all through the
Thanks so much.
Ballroom Thieves. Martin Earley, Calin Peters. Latest record's called Clouds, out on Network Records. They'll be back, play some more music later on in the show.
Your visit to eTown is made possible in part by the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District, or SCFD, one of the largest cultural funding mechanisms in the United States, supporting nearly 300 organizations in the greater Denver area. By the way, as a reminder for your viewing pleasure, there are over 2,000 videos on the eTown YouTube channel, where you can also subscribe in order to stay up to date with our latest video offerings. You're listening to eTown.
Thank you, Callie. I'm Nick Forster. This is eTown. The Ballroom Thieves are going to be back later on in the show. And coming up, Ron Sexsmith, wonderful Canadian singer and songwriter from St. Catharines originally, now living in Stratford, Ontario. He'll be up after a bit. I mentioned earlier the fear of self-expression or the fear of being candid or the fear of being honest and sort of exploring those fears as creative people. Our next guest has turned her fear of sharks from watching the movie Jaws when she was a kid into a lifelong curiosity about sharks, their patterns, health, the overall state of the oceans in general. She's now a biologist specializing in endangered species and natural resources and marine ecosystems. She's had all kinds of adventures. She's done over 40 undersea expeditions all over the world. She's the executive director of Ocean First Institute, which is a nonprofit dedicated to marine research, conservation, and education. She's also a national fellow of the Explorers Club. Pretty big stuff. So please welcome to eTown, Dr. Mikki McComb-Kobza. Mikki, welcome to eTown.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Did I make that up about Jaws and you being scared about all that stuff?
Nope, it's true.
It's true.
It's absolutely true.
And what flipped the switch for you? How did you go from being terrified to being fascinated of sharks?
It's kind of a funny story. So I grew up here in Colorado, and in the summer of 1975, I went to go see the movie Jaws with my older brother and walked out of there changed forever. I was absolutely terrified of sharks.
Wow.
So I had a big shark problem, and the only way that I knew to overcome that was to read about sharks. And I devoured everything I could about sharks, and I fell in love with them. That fascination has never left me.
And of course, studying about sharks led you into the entirety of ocean marine life and health and so on.
Absolutely. I mean, sharks are like dinosaurs. You know, they're really exciting and people can relate to them. And so to tell the story of the shark really allows me, you know, the opportunity to talk about the ocean and some of the issues that are facing the ocean and how each and every one of us can be part of the solution.
So education is a big part of what you're doing.
It really is. You know, sharks are older than the dinosaurs. They're older than trees. And to be able to understand what it's like to look into their eyes, you're looking back in time as to all of the amazing adaptations that have shaped these animals. So to share that wonder is a privilege, and young people, it resonates well with them.
Yeah, and it's never gone terribly wrong where a kid has gotten gobbled or anything like that.
No, I've taken a lot of students with me. We scuba dive with sharks. We measure them with lasers. Kids come up after a scuba dive with sharks, and they're hooting and hollering, and they're going crazy. And you know, they thought, oh, I was going to be really scared, and they're not, and they're excited, and that switch turns, and they become advocates. It's just great. It's great to see that.
That's so cool. And what is happening with shark populations in general?
Well, what you might not know is sharks have been around for over 440 million years, and there are over 500 different species of sharks swimming in the ocean today. And unfortunately, about a third of those species are threatened with extinction. And the main culprit is overfishing. And so really it's our charge now to understand that sharks are similar to the wolves of Yellowstone, which we know when we remove wolves from Yellowstone, it changed the entire ecosystem because they're keystone species. They have a disproportionate impact on the system. Well, sharks are the wolves of the sea. And that's why it's so critical for us to work towards their conservation.
Yeah. In case you just tuned in, you're listening to eTown. My guest is Dr. Mikki McComb-Kobza. You're also working with microplastics and helping educate kids about that. And that's throughout all waterways, not just in the ocean, right?
Yeah, so one of the big issues facing the ocean is plastic pollution. So we probably all heard about the garbage patch and that we've got tons and tons of plastics entering the ocean. But what you might not know is that we also have this issue right here in the Rocky Mountains. So I started a program about 3 years ago where we're taking high school students out and they're looking in Colorado rivers and streams for microplastics. So plastic never breaks down. It just goes into smaller and smaller pieces. It never disappears. And so when we go into the streams here in Colorado and the sediment, we find microplastics and microfiber in nearly every sample we collect. We even find it in the snow pack, the snow melt. So it's a disturbing thing, but the great thing is it's something that we can all work on to change, and it's a way for us to understand the issues facing the ocean today. And really, it's about our consumption and the choices that we make every day.
As consumers, just buying different things.
Absolutely. So, washer sheets, things that go into your dryer, all those kinds of things are really important, because if we all do it, then we're going to put pressure on those companies to make a change.
Yeah. And of course, this is a headwater state, so our waters travel a long distance and wind up elsewhere. I know that we're talking about all kinds of not dark, but just things that are declining, largely because of our impact as humans and consumers. Anything good going on out there? Any good stories happening out there in the oceans?
Well, there is. So for the last 3 years, I've been working on great white sharks on the northeast coast of the Atlantic. And what we found is their numbers are increasing, and that's because the United States has really good management. The Marine Mammal Protection Act, which was enacted in the 70s, has allowed seals to really rebound, and that's their food. And so in the Northeast Atlantic, we're seeing white shark populations come back to healthy levels. And although people may be a little bit nervous about that, it's a great thing to have these animals back in the numbers in which they should be, and it's a trend for us to say that good management is possible. The ocean is resilient if we give it a chance.
Yeah. And that means that the ecosystem is healthier. If the sharks are back, that means the entirety of the balance of that ecosystem is better. And so ultimately that means fisheries will come back in those areas too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about biodiversity. And when we really fight for biodiversity, in the end, we're helping ourselves.
Yeah. And so you bring a lot of kids out to these programs. How many kids have you had in your program so far?
Well, I'm happy to say that, our small ragtag organization, which has been around since 2014, we've been able to serve over 350,000 students with our programs. And so we work hard. Thank you.
Wow. And for anybody listening who wants to learn more, is there a website where people can go and see what you're up to?
oceanfirstinstitute.org. And we're also on social media. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook. So check us out.
oceanfirstinstitute.org.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for sharing the information. Once again, my guest, Dr. Mikki McComb-Kobza,
Thank you
Director
so much.
of Ocean First Institute. Educator, explorer, advocate. Thank you, Mikki.
Thank you.
We've got more music coming up, as I mentioned, from the Ballroom Thieves in a little bit. Right now, let me tell you what's next. Ron Sexsmith. He grew up in the town of St. Catharines, Ontario. He began performing cover songs early on. He released a cassette of original songs back in 1986. He went on to release, 16 or 17 more records since then. He's contributed songs to tribute records to people like Guy Clark and Ray Davies and Nick Lowe. He wrote a novel. He won a bunch of Juno Awards. He's had his songs recorded by people like Rod Stewart and Emmylou Harris, Feist, Katie Lang, Elvis Costello, Nick Lowe. And somehow many of us here in the States have not been familiar with him, even after all that. So he's got all the stuff. He's a really good singer, guitar player, writer. He's got a great ear for melody. And he's here. He's here on his own to sing some songs from his newest record, which is called The Vivian Line. He'll also do some older songs. Please welcome to eTown for his first visit, Ron Sexsmith.
Your eyes are burning low as you look out on this morning. Your eyes will return to their former glory. Though the cold north wind may blow, it's all sound and fury. And the summer will return in its former glory. Everything will be just like you remember. Today won't look as bad as it seemed. Though love's become a dying ember, it will burn brighter than you ever dreamed. for the day is coming soon. You don't have to worry, your light will return in its former glory. Everything will be just like you remember. Today won't look as bad as it seemed. And though love's become a dying ember, it will burn brighter than you ever dreamed. For the day is coming soon. You don't have to worry, your light will return in its former glory. Well, your light will return, the summer will return, and your hearts will rise again in its former glory. Well, thank you very much. This next tune is from my previous record, which was called Hermitage, with a very unfortunate name for a song, which is You Don't Want to Hear It, is the name of the song. Anyway, it goes like this. You don't wanna hear it though, it's coming in the spirit of love. You don't wanna hear it now. Just like you to be that way, it's just like you to say you've heard enough. Your heart just won't go near it now. Whoa, whoa. While you're not listening, you're missing out on something real. But if that's how you feel, don't say I never told you so. Days are getting colder, you know. You don't wanna hear it now. Say you've got a wounded heart, not dealing is the easy part, so you don't wanna listen now. But music is an olive branch, it's a message in a bottle, yeah. But you won't know what you're missing out on. While you're pretending the ending's breaking your own heart, but that's how you are. Don't wanna be a thorn in your side, don't say I never warned you, I tried. You don't wanna hear it now. You don't wanna hear it now. You don't wanna hear it now. While you're not listening, you're missing out on something real. But if that's how you feel, you don't wanna hear it though. It's coming in the spirit of love. You don't wanna hear it now. It's coming in the spirit of love. You don't wanna hear it now. Yeah.
Ron Sexsmith, so glad you're here. Beautiful songs. Love hearing you sing and play.
Thank you.
And like certain songwriters, I think about Brian Wilson or Harry Nilsson or Paul McCartney or Nick Lowe, or certain songwriters who find ways to use unusual chord changes and make them sound so natural. Is it the melody line that kind of leads you towards those chord changes, or how does that happen?
I was a courier for a long time. I walked in courier in Toronto. But I wrote many of the songs from my first album on the job.
Yeah.
Because when I'm walking, I find I just automatically start humming.
Yeah.
So I get these melodies coming to me, and I sing them to myself and sort of commit them to memory.
Wow.
And oftentimes the melody will come with a piece of lyric, like a phrase or something. And then before, when I had my courier job, I had 2 small kids, and I'd come home, and we lived in a 1-bedroom house, and I'd have to wait for them to be in bed, finally, to get to my guitar and sort of figure out what I've been singing all day.
I think it's great, and you're absolutely right about sort of doing enough with your body so that you can kind of disengage your normal thought process and leave it open for inspiration and the muse and whatever comes.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that the courier job spawned your songwriting much in the same way that John Prine's job when he was a mailman in Chicago helped him sort of launch his songwriting career.
We talked about that once. I
Really?
was opening for John, because he would every time I would see him, he'd go, "How do you write those melodies?" Right? And I'm thinking, "You're John Prine. You're no slouch in the melody department, you know." But he was just such a nice, sweet person, you know.
Yeah. And when you were growing up, did you have artists, songwriters, singers that sort of lit you up on some level?
Well, Buddy Holly was the first.
Wow.
I loved Elvis, but he was so good looking. Whereas Buddy Holly, I thought, well, I could sort of make that work. I got glasses. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I always related to Buddy Holly more.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I know that in some circles it was almost an insult to say to a musician, "Wow, I understand you're really big in Japan," or something like that. It was like, you can't make it here, but there's this obscure audience that that has discovered you and has decided they're passionate about your music.
Yeah.
But for you, the UK and Ireland have really embraced you in ways. I mean, if you headlined and sold out Royal Albert Hall, your tour in Ireland upcoming is sold out. You're playing to places where everybody knows all the words to all your songs. And it's a tradition in Ireland, of course. Words and language and songs and stories are deeply ingrained into that culture. So that is far from an insult to say, it's rocking for you over there in Ireland and England.
When I came out in '95 in America, I was already old. I was like 31 already, you know. And I didn't sound like Eddie Vedder. I didn't have the look or the sound. So I didn't really expect to get much radio.
Yeah.
But for some reason, at that same time in the UK, I was in all the magazines and all that stuff. And so we kind of shifted our focus over there. We did Royal Albert Hall, which I never thought would ever happen. And
all these people have recorded your songs. And of all of them, is there one that you're particularly blown away by, or think, "Oh my God, it's a great cover and it's one of my favorite artists," or anything like that?
I really liked Leslie Feist's version of my song Secret Heart. So I liked that. I mean, Emmylou Harris did a nice version of a song called Hard Bargain. And I got to sing it with her a few years back at Mariposa Folk Festival up in Toronto.
You sang with Leonard Cohen?
Sang with Leonard.
Yeah, you've done a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I had breakfast with Paul McCartney once. That was pretty cool. So, yeah. And Linda, when Linda was still alive, too. Yeah.
I bet they didn't eat bacon.
They had a form of bacon that wasn't actually bacon.
Yeah. Some tofu bacon.
Toaster bacon. Yeah.
Well, listen, there's so many things to talk about. It's really great, Ron, to have you here and to sort of just get to hear you and know you a little bit.
Thank you.
And congratulations, because ultimately, the one thing you've done consistently for decades is you've worked. You've made stuff.
Thank you.
And I think it's really impressive.
I'm a survivor. What's that song?
Well, let's get back to music. Welcome back, if you would, Ron Sexsmith.
Thank you very much. Well, now, the band, the eTones, are kind enough to learn one of my songs, and this is another one from my new record. Are we ready? I've always seen school days through September eyes. Could never concentrate, could never memorize all the blackboard figures and facts. Oh, how I fell behind. For dreams and schemes and visions of summertime, it was what I had in mind. Ooh. My mom could find no ways in my report card news. Hoped it was just a phase I was going through. Does not apply himself, I would heal. Could never fall in line with the slave all day or minimum pay design. It wasn't what I had in mind. I could never see the relevance or the intelligence of reaching gloom and doom. Nor could I address the elephant in the room. Now that's what I had in mind. I could never see the relevance of the intelligence of reaching gloom and doom. Nor could I address the elephant in the room. So many shades of gray in these November skies, as another year decays to cut you down to size. Heading out of town for a show down the Vivian line, but in the rearview mirror, leaving all of our tears behind. Now that's what I had in mind. Ooh, what I had in mind. Ooh, what I had in mind. Thank you. Outdated and antiquated, I belong in the past. The future's uncertain and today can't last. Old-fashioned, I'm balder-dashing every newfangled trend. Can't seem to go with the flow, it just don't make sense, and I don't fit in. Outdated and antiquated, the thoughts in my head, they're all on their phones while I write poems instead. endangered and getting stranger, eccentric and older. Each day my disc player and I might take a stroll. Well, time takes its toll, but I'm relevant to myself, and I'm stubborn to the core. Go on and see for yourself, they just don't make them like me anymore. Ooh. Can't get with the program, unlike all the rest. Here I stand in the Saliano, St. Vincent de Paul. If you promise you'll take me with my faults and all, I'll be your doll. La 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 la. La 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 la. 'Cause I'm vintage in mint condition, I was meant for you.
Thank you.
Ron Sexsmith, along with eTown's Christian Teal, Adam Bodine, Kevin Johnson, Helen Forster. The record's called The Vivian Line, out on Cooking Vinyl. Ron Sexsmith from Stratford, Ontario in Canada. He'll be back at the very end for our big finale.
Your visit to eTown is made possible with support from the Sage Foundation, the Cielo Foundation, the Scintilla Foundation, the City of Boulder's Office of Arts and Culture, and our members, our citizens, and our listeners like you. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. I'd like to say hello to our listeners who are hearing eTown on stations like KMSU in Mankato, Minnesota, WVRU in Radford, Virginia, and on KUGS in Bellingham, Washington. As always, if you'd like some more information about any of the things we're up to here at eTown, you want to find out how to get tickets to a live show, lots of information is online at etown.org. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel where we have a few thousand killer videos. Just look for eTown on YouTube. Okay, so far we have been discussing how our guests are courageous and they don't walk away from the scary stuff. They went straight at it and found who they really were, which is awesome. Anyway, we have a special collaboration with all our guests coming up, and right now we're going to build on the duo that was so great before. But please welcome back to the stage, if you would, the Ballroom Thieves.
Let's get Helen back out here, too. This next one's called I Lose, and it's about losing your mind a little bit from time to time. Anyone here lose their mind a little bit from time to time? Yeah. Statistically, there's more of you than that, but I get it.
lose it all of the time. Maybe I'll go to New York and visit some friends. The fire escape is a balcony I can pretend. I lose my mind again. I clouds, mountain of doubt. Why do I need it all to ride? Where does it go when it goes away anyway? Should I move to Seattle or just change my hair? My mind again. I
Nick and Helen and the eTowns, everybody.
That's the Ballroom Thieves. Martin Earley, Calin Peters, along with the eTowns. The record's called Clouds, out on Network Records. Ballroom Thieves. We have time for one more song. We're going to get everybody out here on stage and do one more song for you. I want to thank all our guests this week. Of course, thanks to the Ballroom Thieves, Callie and Martin, now living up in Maine. So glad they could make it. I want to thank our interview guest, Dr. Mikki McComb-Kobza, helping young people understand the power and glory of sharks and the marine ecosystems they live in. Special thanks to Ron Sexsmith. Thanks to the eTones. Thanks to Helen Forster. We're going to leave you with one more song. This is a famous song. It's one we've never played before as a finale. Thanks for listening. I'm Nick Forster. Hope you can be with us next week right here in eTown.
soft in the middle now. Why am I soft in the middle? The rest of my life is so hard. I need a photo opportunity. I want a shot of redemption. Don't want to end up a cartoon in a cartoon graveyard. Bone digger, dogs in the moonlight, far away from my well-lit door. I'm just a beer belly. Get these mutts away from me, you know. I don't find this stuff amusing anymore. If you'll be my bodyguard, I can be a long lost pal. I can call you Betty, Betty when you call me, you can call me out.
Man walks down the street, he says, why am I short of attention? I got a short little span of attention. Why are my nights so long? Where's my wife and family? What if I die here? Who'll be my role model? Now that my role model is gone. He ducked back down the alley with some roly-poly little backface. All along, there were incidents and accidents. There were hints and allegations.
If you be my bodyguard, I can be a long lost pal. I can call you Betty, Betty when you call me, you can call me down the street. It's a street in a strange world. Maybe it's the third world. Maybe it's his first time around. Don't speak the language. He holds no currency. He is a foreign man. He's surrounded by the sound of cattle in a marketplace, scatterlings and orphanages. He looks around, sees angels in the architecture, spinning in infinity, says, amen, hallelujah. If you'll be my bodyguard, I can be a long lost pal. I can call you Betty, Betty when you call me, you can call me.
This is a production of eTown.